So I am Jessie Tao. I'm a clinical research fellow. I'm doing part-time research and part-time clinical work. So clinically, I'm an obs and gynae doctor working at St Mary's Hospital. Yeah, so delivering babies and doing some theatre sessions.
And I'm Sonia. I am an undergrad student at the Uni of Manchester, and I'm doing my final year project with Jessie on the ACEs studies.
So cervical screening is a national screening program here in the UK. It's free of charge and it's really effective in getting the precancerous changes, and it has reduced the mortality rate from cervical cancer drastically by 75%. However, people are showing to us that they are less likely to go for the screening nowadays. So we're seeing a steady decline in the last 20 years, that people are not going for their screening for various reasons. And some of the reasons that are known to us, for example, it's really difficult to book a clinic appointment. It's difficult to find a female practitioner to do this very intimate examination, and so those are some of the practical barriers. And for those who work full time, it's difficult to find time out. So there are quite a lot of barriers around this. Self-sampling, meaning that you take your own sample. There are two ways that we can do that at the moment. So one is a self-sample from the vagina, one is a self-sample from the urine. So we're trying to find out with our study that if self-sample is something that people would want to use for cervical screening going forward in the future, especially in those who are very reluctant in going for their routine cervical screening for whatever reasons, and those who would otherwise not get screened for this very important disease. Which method would people like more? So whether is it a urine that people like more, or is it a vaginal swab that people would like more? And if so, in which is there a disparity in certain populations? So for example, one population would prefer urine more, and one population would clearly indicate to us that they want the vaginal swab more. So then it is going to be a matter of if we bring this to the cervical screening program in the future, is one choice enough, or do we need to have multiple choice for self-sampling to kind of to meet the needs of the general population? Again, there is different ways of doing vaginal sample, then this is just one way of doing it. So some people might, if like during COVID times, they might remember this red swab when they come into hospital and they get tested for COVID, and it's exactly the same. And so as you open up, you can see that it's just like a cotton bud, and this is what you're going to insert inside the vagina. As you can see, it's a much smaller device to go inside the vagina, and hopefully that's going to minimize the discomfort of doing the sample, and the fact that you're doing it yourself just makes it a little bit more comfortable as well, so that you know if you're causing yourself pain or not. And there is a red mark, so that tells you how deep you need to insert this swab. So my advice would be just hold it at the red mark, so that you know this is the depth that you need, and get inside, and then just twist around a couple of times to take the cells from the vagina. So the difference is that we are not taking the cell samples directly from the cervix. So this goes inside the vagina, switch around, with the hope that if there is any virus present in the vagina or around the cervix, this is going to pick them up. And so the downside of this is that if you're tested HPV positive on the self-sampling sample, we do not have a second check for the cells as the normal cervical screening program would do. And what we currently are doing, and some of the other countries are doing, is that if you're screened positive on the self swab, you have to come back for a traditional cervical screening. just so that we know what the cells are looking like, and also to double check that if the virus is indeed present on the cervix. There is a chance that there's virus around the vagina, around the urine pipe, but actually they are not causing any problem, so they're not made their way up to the cervix yet, so in which case then we can be very reassured that there is nothing to worry about. And even if they have made up to the cervix, if the cells are looking normal, then we are reassured that it's safe to wait another 12 months to get screened, just to see if your body has fight off the virus. Which for a urine test, it will come in this package, and there will have a QR code to show you exactly how the device works. But it will come with a funnel and a collection tube. So as you can see, there's not much, so just only a tiny little bit of urine is needed here, and we need to assemble this device. So just take off the cap and put the funnel, the green pads, inside the collection tube, and just press it down and make sure that it's secure. And the funnel pads is where you wee into, and it's really important to say that it's the first part of the urine that we need, because we think if there is any virus that's residing in the vagina, it's the first parts of the urine that will flush them down into the collection tube, and that gets mixed directly with the preservatives, that's the clear fluid in here. And then the clever thing is that once the first part of the urine gets collected, the funnel will go up, and the rest of the urine will just flush through the other hole. So you can just do the whole way in here. You don't have to stop and start and worry about how much urine is there enough. Just do everything in here, but make sure that the first part goes inside the funnel so that we can get an accurate result.
Those who are overdue on their smear test for over 6 months, as this is a research sample, it wouldn't then be taken into account for their normal cervical screening routine, so they would still be invited to the normal programme and their normal recall of either 3 years or 5 years.
Yeah, so the benefits of taking part is as Sonia said, that we're mainly aiming for the non-attenders, so who have already delayed going for their screening. Some of them probably would otherwise not go for their screening at all. What we're trying to engage is this population so that they know what their risks are. So if you are never tested for the virus, you wouldn't know if you are at risk of developing. Yeah, so both urine and vaginal swab are indirect test for the HPV virus on the cervix. So so both of them are slightly less accurate in picking up the disease compared to the gold standard. So that's why the gold standard is at every step that we encourage everybody to go for their gold standard screening program. But both of the tests are shown to be non-inferior, meaning they are as good as picking up the high-grade cervical disease. Bear in mind that even with the gold standard test, it's not 100% accurate. So every screening test is not 100% accurate, but it is the best that we have at the moment. So accuracy of the urine is again shown to be non-inferior to cervical sampling, but slightly less accurate. So it's 90.18, I want to say. So it picks up 90% of the high-grade disease if somebody is going to have one, and the relative sensitivity, so compared to the gold standard cervical test, it's 0.97. So it's so for example 100 cervical screening, and so the cervical sample positive samples, the urine sample picks up 97 out of the 100, if that makes sense. Yeah, that it is important to get screened whichever method that you chose to have. and it is a virus that is very common, and there is no shame around it. And yeah.